All right, guys, the man of the hour, man. He's been fucking waiting here patiently, dude, and we appreciate his presence here on tonight's show. We've watched him here on the screen for the better part of 3 or 4 weeks. Guys, give it up for the one, the only, Corey Adam Comedy.
What up, everybody? How we doing? What up?
Corey Adams in the building, guys.
What's going on?
Corey.
What's happening?
It's great to have you, man. How you doing tonight, dude?
Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are you guys?
Hell yeah.
I didn't realize it was going to be just a fuck Steel Toe show, but I guess I should have saw that. Big fan of you guys when you went after Tripoli, so let's do this. What we got?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's, we've been, talking about Steel Toe for the better part of almost now 2 months. So, I mean, this is really, nothing new for us. It's just really been highlighted now over the last 2 weeks with that, all the Chad drama going on. So,
Did I see in chat that Citizen M was blocked? Because we need to unblock him if he is. Like, that's in my writer. I love that guy.
In our chat or your chat?
Your chat. Somebody said he was blocked in your chat.
We don't block anybody. I don't even think anyone's a mod. So
perfect.
Citizen
like
M, definitely shoot us a message if anything's fishy going on here.
He was in it, but someone said it might have been an imposter Citizen M.
Oh, all right, cool.
Okay, yeah, because I believe there's Citizen Manipulative and Citizen M. So, Corey, welcome into the show. I wanted to get in. I'm not gonna, take up too much time, but I just wanted to get a couple of your thoughts here. Obviously, everything that's going on with the whole, Chad thing. It's been kind of a wild, really past 2 weeks since Aaron has claimed to have washed his hands. And I was watching the show on Wednesday, and that's what made me want to message you. There is a lot of times throughout that show, you weren't just accepting what Aaron was saying, and you were kind of, pushing back on certain instances where Aaron was saying that, part of him was not happy. And I believe you had said something like, well, dude, you're not like the least bit happy or something to that effect. But I just want to commemorate you. Yeah.
That's kind of always been my role in the show, is that I'm the guy that, I was a comic. I had an album, was #1 on iTunes when I met the show, and I joined it. And so I was just kind of there because I was like, oh, cool. This is like a little Howard Stern on the prairie. Sounds fun. Let's roll,
Right. So I guess that gets into my, my next question here is, so, I mean, give us a little bit of background, like how you and Aaron came to be, how you got on the Steel Toe Morning Show. I mean, how did this relationship come about?
So comic, right? There was a comic named Adrian Washington who was on the show for a while, and he told me to oh yeah, you should meet Aaron or whatever. And so I came into one of the shows, and I was supposed to do this appearance, and it was a promotion thing for my record label to promote my album. And I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And then the next time they hit me up, and there's a comic named Dave Mordahl who they were about to make a second mic, but he wanted too much money. And so I ended up taking about half that and came in and got it.
Oh shit. Okay. So you were cleaning up essentially.
Yeah, I mean, they offered me $100 a show, and Mordahl said he wanted $200 a show. So I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll take 100. It's fine.
Solid. And then where does Aaron fit in with all this?
So Aaron has been a broadcaster, and that's kind of why I came on here, honestly. Like, I know most of the people in chat hate me. I know most of the people hate Steel Toe. I get all that. But yeah. I also know one, I really appreciate what you guys do, and I don't even mind when it's targeted at me. There is just not to blow your fucking dicks right away, but there's such a weird surplus of reaction type commentary podcasts. And the things that I really like about you guys is you're very consistent and you're very reasonable. And then when you start to get really mad at somebody, you gravitate in towards being a little bit more funny than a little bit more full of hate. Like some of the people on the YouTube and all these other places, they're just there to get some kind of fucking reaction from people, and they don't really make it. Sure. It's actually what drove me away from Red Bar, if I'm honest.
Right. Yeah, no, man. That's something we try to do, man. I'm not, although I do hate watch Steel Toe at times.
Yeah.
We've been doing this. We've been covering Steel Toe, like I said, for the better part, maybe about 2 months.
Well, and I see so much confused information because, there's a whole whack pack that we had following us around, like Cowpote, that's not really affiliated with us and full of a bunch of weird bullshit. Again, I like Cowpote. He's funny, but he does these things where he just says outrageously fictitious things all the time. That's his shtick, and he thinks it's funny, which is, again, everybody gets to do it however they want.
So are you saying here right now that the whole Corey Adam has this inside information on who attacked Chad? I mean, do you have any inside information? I mean, is that true?
I don't. I mean, I have my own opinions as a human being, but that's it.
Okay. Would you, care to grace us with those opinions? Do you think the whole Chad thing?
I think the black eye's real. I think trying to pin it on Steel Toe is not.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
I think like, and wasn't there like, there was a time like, I don't know, a year or two ago where he was like, got beat up and was saying that somebody said, these people sent us. Like how absolutely unfortunate do you have to be to get beat up by 4 different people, 2 different altercations, both of which repping somebody that you talk shit for? I just don't, that doesn't feel like it's possible to me.
Yeah, I believe the dude's name was Rover out of Cleveland, Ohio, and apparently this was like 10 years ago. I just found out about this today, where the apparently Chad, yeah, like you said, was beat up or jumped or what have you, a couple years ago, and he said, similar to what he said this past time, where he says Anthony Cumia, sends his regards. He said Rover sent his regards. So I mean,
right, and I just like, who the fuck talks like that outside of a Bob movie? This is
sure.
This is the biggest problem that I have with all of this. I don't have a problem with people hating Steel Toe as a product. You're a human being. You get to hate whatever the fuck you want, right? What I have a problem with is where everybody is circling these weird wagons and they're acting like all the history with Melton doesn't exist, all the history with fucking Chad doesn't exist, all the history with all these people, and just all of a sudden it's fuck Aaron, which fine, again, I don't give a shit if you like Aaron. I don't give a shit if you don't like Aaron. The fact is everybody is rallying their wagons and associating with 2 people who've been busted out before, right? Like, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, I you can't blame people though, like you said, dude. I mean, obviously,
I get it. Yeah. Like, it's not for everybody, and people are gonna hate. I love hate. One of the things that I love doing is I love standing in the fire. People want to come at me. I'm not like, I use my own name on Reddit. I'm not scared of the fucking internet. I'm here, and when you reached out to me, I'm like, yeah, dude, I'd love to do it. Let's roll. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You can just stand and take your medicine and figure out that not everybody's gonna like the same thing. But again, it's weird to me watching people tack their wagons to a bunch of people that have been proven incorrect more often than not,
Sure, and yeah, I can understand that, man. I think, what people are more so upset about when it comes to Aaron and the Steel Toe show, man. I mean, obviously there's a laundry list. I mean, for
sure.
us, I'll speak, I'm not going to generalize. I'll speak with us, right? For us, when we first found the Steel Toe morning show, I gave it a chance, man. Just like everyone else, probably. I gave it a chance. I was, I saw what, the Steel Toe name was all about. And, it's just, after a while, man, I mean, and I get it. You want to make money. That's his business. That's Aaron's business, right? So he has to make money. I understand that. But for me, dude, it's as a viewer, as a listener, as a watcher, I mean, it's insane the amount of times he just halts the show and just fucking takes that can out and just fucking, like, essentially holds his audience hostage until they pay up. I mean, to me, it's sickening, bro. I mean, I'm not saying that has anything to do with you. Obviously, it's Aaron's show.
Right.
But I mean, it's sickening. And then with the, we've been, on record saying his set, like, he doesn't invest anything back into the set. So, just on those 2 things alone, man, I mean, that was my 2 biggest gripes with the Steel Toe show. It just so happened that this whole chat thing had just blown up out of proportion.
Well, I think the thing that people forget with Steel Toe is that they were on the radio. And then when we went to the internet, it was mostly our audience's idea to crowdfund it. And so Aaron came, when we left, Aaron had everybody's shit like set up. He had all the numbers. And again, I don't ask for the math, man. I get why you guys care. I understand that. I'm not belittling anybody that is mad or angry that there's panhandling. I understand why the panhandling has to happen, and I understand why it would piss people off. I get both sides of that argument, right?
Sure.
My thing is that I don't, like, I'm a stand-up comic. This is a spare time gig for me. I am on 1 day a week. Like, I'm not there to, like, I don't pay attention to the math in the way that you guys do, because it doesn't really bother me. So I was getting paid a decent amount before, and as shit got like we lost sponsors and like budget got cut and all this other shit. And so my whole thing is like, I'm not there to juice a show I've been a part of for years. Like, I'm just not. That's not, like, could I be getting paid more? Of course I could. I'm not saying I couldn't. Could I quit because he's not paying me enough? Probably. But it's not like that. I've been a part of the show for a long time.
Could you put the rumors to bed now? Is it confirmed that $50 is the going rate for the second mic over on the Steel Toe show? $50.
I cannot vouch for what anybody else gets, right? As far as me,
no, for you.
I was gonna say, as far as me, I will no longer be discussing what I get paid, as I feel like that's a bad move on employment. That being said, I was fired, and I did go on air, and there was a lot of things that I said because I thought I was fired. And if you want the answer without the answer, I would trust Mike Miller. That's my buddy.
Mike Miller. All right. So saying it kind of without actually saying it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Whatever you glean from that, sir.
No, man. Yeah. So we just wanted to get to the bottom of certain things. I mean, you kind of scratched on everything we wanted to really talk about. One other question we kind of wanted to take away from this whole thing. This whole Patrick Melton thing. Nobody likes onions, man. You guys, I think it was you specifically 2 weeks ago. That had kind of had this bad, no, I mean, I wouldn't really say bad things to say, but you were kind of giving Patrick Melton, I guess, criticism. And man, what
I just think he's a dick. I don't think that's news. Half the clips, if you watch him, he says he's a dick. I've always said, Pat, I hung out with him. I have nothing against him. He was kind of a dick when we hung out.
Yeah, but,
and if I'm being honest, there were a lot of weird, like, extra circumstances around. Like, for instance, he was recording an album and the fucking audio got fucked up, right? Sure. So, like, I'm not even saying, like, I don't even hold it against him. I've always thought he was funny. You know, it's like, it's fine. I mean, I don't know. It's weird sometimes when the radio people circle around the real comics. Because I know there's people in this chat that hate me. I know there's people in Steel Toe that hate me. None of you will be able to hate me more than I hate myself. You can't hurt me.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it is.
But settle down with that. I mean, you know, we don't. I understand the self-deprecation. I mean, all that.
It's not about self-deprecation. It's about when you're a stand-up comic specifically, you have real inner demons. And Pat will vouch for this too. A lot of the radio people, they feign inner demons. They don't know what inner demons are. Sure. That's what it is.
Well, I really can't speak, to all that, obviously. I mean, all I could speak to, for is my own personal experience. And I think, we all kind of go through our own shit, right? And it's just, we handle it in different ways. But, something I wanted to ask, is, knowing what you know now, I mean, Patrick Melton really has kind of made a whole, like, resurgence through this whole thing with the Steel Toe, drama as of late. Knowing what you know now, would you have crossed that NLO bridge, 2 weeks ago, or would you kind of just let that, go to the wayside?
I don't think Pat being on Steel Toe I feel like it had very little to do with me. I think Melton was following Chad, and then when it blew up, he found out about Steel Toe, and then when he found out I said something, he went after me a little bit. But I don't think my actions are anything to do, and I'll always side with that. Like, I'm just going to call it how I see it. That's what I do. I can't help it beyond that. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
Well, look, I wanted to bring you on. I feel like I'm a pretty good judge of character. And my gut, like I said in the DMs, my gut tells me that, you are a good guy. And you're just kind of a casualty of war in this instance. And I think, with time, I think it'll all come out. Who's really fucking, fake and not, and, really true to their beliefs, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I wanted to get you on to kind of clear some of the air here with the whole Chad thing, with the whole NLO thing, with the whole Cowpote saying, this pertinent information. Now, I'll ask you one more time before we let you go here. But Cowpote, man, says you have this, bombshell. You know who did it, right?
Don't listen to Cowpote. Okay. If you're listening to Cowpote, you've already lost.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, that's kind of how he is. And I like Cowpote. It's funny, but he does this, like, weird, almost trolly thing, with like, oh, all these people. And when we crossed over to YouTube, that's when a lot, because we were on radio, then we went to Twitch, then we went to YouTube. And when we got to YouTube, Cowpote latched on, and it was him, it was this guy named Jake, it was this guy named Dave20, just really bad trolls, and they were everywhere for a while.
Sure, yeah.
It's kind of the internet, right? You step in it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's about, man. But yeah, dude. All right, Corey Adam. I know. I think you told me you had a show to attend to, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. I do appreciate it, Corey Adam Comedy, man. Now I wanted to, well, first of all, here, let everyone know where they could find you, where they could support your work, if they do at all. I mean, but at least give your plugs here. I mean, you're on the show. It's only fair.
Twitch.tv/Corey Adam Comedy. Corey Adam Comedy on YouTube. We're going to be actually focusing on that coming up this Monday. So for everybody that hates me, come on in and fucking, like, troll it up, man. I'll never block you in chat. I don't care what you say. I'll read your comments. I don't give a shit. So, like, I'm an open book. Let's fucking roll. I'm not scared of the internet. Again, I use my real name on Reddit. I'm not scared of the internet.
That's a step in the right direction, man, because as we know, as we've seen the last 2 weeks, Aaron has just been trigger happy, banning everybody, which again, I mean,
what happened on, okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure,
I watched a little bit. I was sitting here waiting. In your opinion, what happened on Friday? Because I fell asleep and I woke up and my Twitter inbox was AIDS. It was just like, why is April sad? And I got that it has something to do with NLO, but I just like, it was so funny to me because I didn't watch it or anything.
I mean, look, we're going to be covering it here on the show here in a little bit. But what I could say is, though, it's just, and I said this at the top of the show, man. It's like, look, nobody, no matter who you are, man, you can have fucking Teflon skin, claim to be the toughest, baddest guy in the world. But after a while, man, you put yourself out there on the internet and everybody is turning on you at once.
Yeah.
It gets to you, right? So I think to answer your question, we are seeing the effect of that and what that's having on Aaron in real time, which, a lot of us.
I will say this to a lot of you who haven't been here before is, Aaron was very publicly going through his divorce on air. He was very publicly going through getting kicked off air. If you think that this is going to break him, you're going to be watching this NASCAR. You're going to be hate watching this NASCAR without a crash for a while. Like the thing about Aaron, and it's one of his more redeeming qualities, is he's very good at rattling around and bleeding out on the mic. And a lot of the times when people have him in the sites like that, that's when it ends up being better. So I don't know that he's going to go away or that you guys are going to break him. I mean, it's the internet. Do whatever you're going to do, obviously.
Well, I mean, look, to that, I would
say...
Not
you. I'm just saying in general. I'm not saying...
I hear you. Generally, yes, I understand. But...
I'm not coping. I'm making an observation.
To that, I would say this, man. It's a whole different ball game when you have a devout, dedicated subreddit going at you every day, man.
I understand. I understand that everybody underestimated the amount of autism that's pointed at him right now. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, some would speculate autism. Others would just speculate. Look, a lot of people are just fed up and tired of the shenanigans, man. And we want answers. We want answers with the prize night. We want answers, with a lot of things that are going on with Steel Toe. And Aaron isn't doing himself any justice by not answering and blocking people. I mean, that's what really pisses people off at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah, I agree with that, and I think you and us and everybody on this podcast too share the same thing. I don't block people. I don't give a shit. Say whatever.
And you shouldn't, dude. I mean, unless, like I said, anything short of spam, let it fucking ride, man. You know what I mean? Because that you're putting yourself out there. You're going live. You have a live chat there for a reason. It's not. I mean, obviously there is the option to block people, but it's just very childish and foolish, to say the least, when you go ahead and actually block people. But Corey, man, look, I don't want to take up any more of your time. We appreciate it.
No, man, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate you. Look, I think you guys are way more man than a lot of people because you're reaching out to the people that you're targeting. That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah, we want to get it from all sides, man. And like I said, something tells me maybe everyone watching here tonight maybe fucking disagrees, but something tells me that you are a good guy, whether that comes out or not. Look, and if you are a bad guy and you're pulling the wool over my eyes, man, I'm going to be very upset. So just have you know that.
I'm not a bad guy. I've been worse, and I'm working on myself to do better, right? That's all anybody can do.
Sure, Corey. All right, well, we appreciate your time. Everyone, Corey Adam Comedy, thanks for your time, Corey. We'll see you on Wednesday Steel Toe as we all sit there and hate watch.
Thank you so much. Tell Al I really like his snide comments. He's the heart of the show.
All right, you're the heart of the show, Al. You hear that? Corey Adam, everyone.
Hell yeah. Man, that was super honorable for him to come on here.
Yeah.
I got to give it to Corey.
Corey Adam.